Welcome back to another episode of the Traitor-Dev blog. Only one new node to talk about today, and that is the new speaker node. So you can find it just by searching for speaker. And I already have one in my inventory here. Place it in the world, Place it in the world as, you would literally any other node. There's nothing too special about it that way. You may want to hide it. This is a placeholder texture. I haven't entirely decided if I want to... what I want to do. I might honestly just do a little speaker icon on it. Maybe even leave it like this. This isn't really meant to be a visible node. So the idea is you take this... I guess first let's actually talk about what it does before we talk about the intention behind it. So these nodes play sounds. Currently there is a list of... I don't know, is this 10 different sounds maybe? They're pulled straight from Epic. So any of the any of the ambiance, the background ambient noises, so coniferous forest, deciduous forest, desert, grassland, ice sheet, ocean, beach, rainforest, and savanna are currently all the sounds that exist. And you can select between them. So let's say we want an ocean beach, and then we have the, I don't know, volume, amplitude, fall off, whatever you want to consider it. This is... and I'm not 100% sure this is actually functioning correctly, but this is the distance the sound is audible to, I guess, or hearable from. I don't really 100% understand how that works, because from like a science standpoint, you would just have to make the sound quieter to make the sound not carry as far, or put more obstructions in the way to observe the sound waves. So I don't really understand 100% how this works within Mindtest, but basically, if it's an ambient sound like anything that's in here right now, you might want to set that to 16, so you can be theoretically 16 nodes away and hear the ambient sounds. If it was something, say, it's not in here yet, but like a slamming door, or a flushing toilet, or somebody walking upstairs, or chains rattling, or an engine starting, or whatever sounds maybe get added, you might want to put that to a lower value. Like if it was, someone walking upstairs, well, that's really not very loud. Wouldn't make sense to be able to hear someone walking upstairs from super far away. So maybe you'd want to set it to a lower value. So you'd have to be near the stairway to hear the sound. But for testing purposes here, we're going to keep it at 16. I'm going to pick Ocean Beach. And I'm actually going to go ahead and place a few more of these. I'll set them to 16 as well. That one's already at 16. We want Ocean Beach. And I'll go ahead and do the same on this one. I don't know why that... there we go. So they're all set to Ocean Beach. How these work on like the back end code side of things, there is an ABM, an active block modifier. So if somebody is, I believe a block is 16 by 16 by 16 nodes. If somebody's within that region, when this fires off, it'll look at all the nodes in that region, find any that match speaker, which or sound speaker. I forget what the exact node name is. Doesn't really matter to anybody unless, you're looking at the code, I suppose. And if it finds one, it'll look at what sound and what sound distance, and it'll play that sound. So I think it's actually playing right now. As you can tell, I'm obviously not wearing any kind of hearing stuff, headphones or earbuds or anything like that. I have my speakers turned off, but looking at the audio meters here, it looks like the sound's currently playing. It might be kind of horrible because there's four of them kind of within close distance to each other. But if I walk around, theoretically only one of these should be playing, and the audio should kind of pan from ear to ear, theoretically. I think it just stopped. So that maybe you'll be able to tell which one was making the sound. Current levels for the triggering of the sounds on these, once every 60 seconds the ABM runs, and there's a 1 in 5 chance that it'll play the sound. So if I have, I'll put a fifth one out. If I have 5 of them here, there, where's Ocean? There we go. If I have 5 of them, theoretically every minute one of these, statistically speaking, one of these will play every minute because there's 5 of them and 1 in 5 will play. Statistically speaking, now we all know that's not really how math works, but theoretically, from a statistic standpoint, it will happen. And of course, or maybe not of course, these save the values, so you can, say, well, I want this one to be set to 11, and then you can, as you're testing your level, because this will play while you're building your level and everything, if you go, I can hear that sound from a little too far away, let me go ahead and change it. When you right click on it, it'll pull up your old values. So, you'll keep whatever sound you had and you'll keep whatever level you had here. So like that's too loud, you can drop it down. Or if it's, I can just barely hear this. I don't even know if it's working, which it's working. You can go ahead and crank the volume to 16 to tweak that around. And then, optimally what the idea is here is that you actually, and I know this doesn't really work, but because I'm kind of floating in the air, it's hard to actually do it the right way. The idea is that you kind of just bury this. So, ocean beach. We're just going to put a little knoll of sand here so that it's not even visible. Now, I'm kind of thinking if I make it look like a speaker, you could use it as an actual node that is visible, which could make sense if you had like a TV, which I don't have a TV currently, but if you had a TV, you could have a speaker on both sides of it, and it could play sounds. So I might do that. There are checks in place, of course. Don't worry, I'm not that dumb. That you can only edit the node if you are in the area protection. So if you've built a level and you've protected it and you've got some people helping you build and stuff, and you've added them all to the area protection, any of them can edit the sounds, but nobody else will be able to. And then there's also a check for, I believe, the creative privilege. It's a privilege that you'll only have while building levels. If you're playing the level, you won't have it. So during playing the level, if it is visible, you won't be able to right click on it and pull this menu up because you won't have the necessarily privilege that you need to open the form spec. So that is that. I was going to say there might be some more sounds playing, but I think that's just me walking on some of these nodes. But that's the new stuff. Cool drop-down menus. Or you can just use your mouse scroll wheel if you have one of those. I don't know if arrow keys work. Sort of, but you have to first select that. Can you? Oh, you can tab through. So I don't know why you would want to do that rather than just clicking and selecting or hovering and rolling your mouse wheel. But if you wanted to, that does work as well. Yay. One thing to note, if you don't hit the save button, it won't save your changes. So if I change this and change that and hit escape, it's still ice sheet in 16. Because it won't save them without you, hitting save. So if you want to save your changes, make sure you click save, otherwise they don't get saved. And that's it. So if you want to play with the new nodes, buy yourself the builder privileges on the server, and start adding some sounds. If there's sounds you would like there to be, and I'm sure there are if you're building levels, let me know, and I'll do my best to accommodate. Pretty much anything goes. So, if you need scary sounds or happy sounds or, footsteps, people walking in hallways, doors slamming, cars starting, traffic, airplanes flying over, helicopters, just machinery background noises, like if you have a factory and maybe you want, an air compressor to randomly fire off, or, whatever. Fires, explosions, you name it. You tell me, I'll do my best to add those sounds to the node here. And that's going to wrap it up. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.